Hey guys, this girl got game. Welcome back to England Exchange, where I'm trying to get Danny's neutral end. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of info on the interwebs about this game. So I don't know exactly how to get Danny's neutral end just off the bat. So I'm gonna have to do some fiddling. From what I could gather, some of the other characters, is it came down to maybe one or two choices that were different. So I'm gonna bank on that. Well, I couldn't figure out Danny specifically. I'm gonna bank that this choice was the big turning point in the relationship, where he admits to what his past was and lays it on the line for her. And the big through line for his thing was her response at this point for his good ending. So I'm wondering if we say, would you do it again? If we can still pursue him, but that'll change our relationship with him just enough to where we don't get the good ending. So I'm gonna try it, and then we'll see what happens. Would you do it again? He frowned.
No, I would not. Absolutely not. That's not too reassuring, is it?
He smiled at me, then drained his tea.
Well, I think it's about time to get out of here. What do you think?
Sure. Let's go. The walk back was made in silence, my mind racing with thoughts about this new Danny in front of me. Technically, nothing about him had changed. But at the same time, everything had. In an instant. Was it wrong to let what I learned affect my image of him, the person I thought I knew? Or would it be worse to overlook obvious red flags just because someone had a polished demeanor? It was so confusing.
Thanks for talking with me, Malia. I'm sure my secret is safe with you.
Definitely. I won't go spreading this around. I was probably the only one who knew. Peggy might have been his closest friend in the hostel, but she was such a gossip. I couldn't see him telling her anything like this.
I know you won't.
The worst part was, it was hard for me not to see everything he did as threatening now that I knew. Especially when he gives you that stare, you know. Maybe that was unfair of me, but it was how I felt. Danny made as if to head back to his room, then paused.
Malia.
Ah, that might have been the key.
I'm interested in you. I'm not sure that I have a chance anymore, but the only way I could even conceive of giving myself a chance to pursue you was if you knew. Now that you know, well, it's been a long day and you already have a lot to think about. I'll leave you to it.
He disappeared into his room. I shut my door and stumbled over to my bed. Alright, so let's skip ahead a bit and get rid of this douche canoe. And we'll continue to pursue Danny. And we'll explore the city again. Why not? I don't know if that actually affects things or not, but might as well just keep things the same as much as possible. Although I might try something different with Aussie this time around. Since we're not getting, like, the best ending, I don't have to worry about that. I could maybe see what she wants to tell me when she's in a drunken stupor. Okay, so we'll hang out with Peggy and Danny again. Man, we can skip through this incredibly quickly. Okay, so we'll accept him. Stay on the train. Stay on the crazy train. Okay, so he still supports me. Good. You know, things are good. Friends. Okay, I'm gonna continue to try to understand. We'll leave attacking you for some other time. Maybe when we're on a bad ending already. Okay, so we're still spending all our days with him. Okay, I'm curious. I want to hear her out and see what happens. Just for curiosity's sake. I plopped myself down on the floor like an elementary school student, crisscross applesauce.
Okay, so I have reasons that I'm like this. And those reasons are that 1, I am poor. 2, I am stupid. And 3, This is all I have going for me. She motioned down her torso. Was she referring to her body? I need money. Money! I need to survive in this world somehow. You know? I'll do what it takes. Men are easy. Easy money. I thought back to the day we met, the day I caught her in the presidential suite with a hotel guest. Was she having sex for money? I mean, I kind of figured that's what it was, but I was hoping that there was more to that story. Unfortunately, there have been things that have happened to me in the past that have made it difficult for me. I won't get into it. It's too poor me. Poor Aussie suffered the fate worse than death. Poor girl, let's pity her and treat her like she's defective. Let's not. But now you understand, right? This world is different between me and you. You can pick and choose and get anything you want out of life. Anybody you like, Miss New York. It's easy for you, not for me. This is all I can ever be.
Aussie, that's not true.
I don't want to hear it.
But she clasped her hands firmly over her ears.
La 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 la. Shh, shh, be quiet. I don't want your pity. I just wanted your understanding. Do you understand?
I nodded and she stood.
Good. You know, in another life, maybe we could have been friends. Wouldn't that have been weird? Now then, good night!
She flung her arm into the air in an imitation of a wave, then crept out my door.
Oh, and don't tell anybody about this.
I won't.
Good night!
She left again. I shut the door behind her, turned out my light, and crawled into bed. A fate worse than death? No future? Aussie. It didn't excuse any of her actions. It didn't excuse the way she was thinking about herself or the world. But it made me sad. Certainly, pity was the last thing she wanted from me. But still, I felt bad for her. With those thoughts on my mind, I drifted off into a troubled sleep. Alright, well, we learned that. That was the thing we learned. Alright. Okay, so we'll see. So he still proposed. Is everything... I'll just do this again, whatever. Oh, hello, okay.
Oi.
Aussie accosted me in the hallway just as I was returning to my room. She hadn't spoken much to me since that night a couple of weeks ago, so now I wondered what she wanted. Yeah? What is it?
I just wanted to tell you goodbye. That's all. I'll miss having you around.
Oh, really? We could have got a nicer ending with you if I had just let you talk to me in a drunken stupor? That's not what I was expecting. There was a brief pause. I didn't know what to say, so what automatically slipped out was, I'll miss you too. Stillness rang through the hall like bells. Then Aussie smiled. Good. She continued past me and down the staircase. So, we had a truce then? I wasn't sure why, but I felt successful, like I just won a sports trophy or something. Hooray for me! Alright. Oh, it was the night before I left. Maybe Aussie's here this time. We were gathered in the kitchen, yet again eating one of Ashley's dishes. Perhaps for the last time for me. Nobody said anything about it, but it was clear everybody was around for a reason. I was leaving, and it was a solemn, subtle celebration for me. Or a funeral, whichever. There might have been a louder party if the rest of the hostel had known about Danny and me, but for right now, we were keeping that news to ourselves. As we munched and chatted away like usual, one thing seemed off. Aussie. She was much quieter than she had ever been in a group situation like this, and was watching the group with an almost sad look on her face. It couldn't be about me, surely. We'd already said our surprisingly cordial goodbyes. That's what I thought until she abruptly stood up.
I would like everyone to be quiet. I have something to say. Back in May, after we came back from the trip to the beach, money was found missing from the register up in the front of the hostel. At the time, MALIA was blamed for it. But it wasn't her. I took the money.
Really? You actually come out and admit to it?
That's all.
So, but who stole the volleyballs and things? She sat down, picked up her fork, and began eating spaghetti as if nothing had happened. You mean, you've been letting MALIA take the fall for you this whole time?
Letting her? It's not as though this was an accident. I set her up.
You?
Yep, me. What of it?
Danny turned to look at me.
MALIA, you're the one who's been affected by this. What do you want to do about it?
Oh my. That's up to James. Hey look, she came clean. I'll forgive. I'm a big woman. Can we just forget about it and move on? You had all forgiven me, right? So you could have forgiven her in time. And I'm not going to be here anymore. There's no point in continuing this drama. I knew why Aussie did it. Maybe she wasn't a good person, and maybe she would never be. But I didn't want to get revenge on her. I was tired of all the fighting. I just wanted it over with.
You're a better person than I am.
Alright. Well, that was a different dinner. Okay, so you helped me. And we still got married. Okay, so I kind of feel like I didn't get that ending. Let me see. No, didn't get neutral. So I gotta do something different. I think that choice is a good one. Was it this one? Yeah. I think I'll do this and maybe not sleep with him at the beach. Bye, Brendan. Like, I don't know what else I can do other than, like, break his heart when he, asks us to marry him. I feel like that's... I don't want to do that if I don't have to, you know? Okay, but I enjoyed that Aussie friendship ending. I can go for that in future routes. I could even choose to get revenge on her if I so wanted to. Just for lols. Okay, so spend time with you guys, and then when we get back, I'll try being like, no. Okay.
I see.
He clasped his hands together and closed his eyes, breathing deeply for a few minutes. I edged closer to the door.
Then, if you're sure.
The Danny I remembered was back, smiling happily at me.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your trip.
I nodded and fled the room, running straight into my own. What was that? What did I just escape from? Fun. Never mind. It was good that I ran. I wasn't about to get in over my head for my first relationship. I wasn't about to. I was so confused. I stayed in my room for the rest of that day, only emerging for dinner. But when I did, Danny was exactly as he said he would be. Friendly, smiling, normal. It seemed there was nothing to worry about. Although I did notice that group of guys walking outside the next day, and the guy who touched me was nowhere to be seen. Interesting. Okay. So... Owsley's not on my side now that we're not in a relationship.
I don't really know what to make of this, MALIA. I'm disappointed. I thought better of you.
Alright. Okay.
No, stop, please. I think we all could use some time away from each other. Let's leave each other alone.
But... Danny shot me a glare. Clearly this was as good as I was going to get. Interesting. Okay. I don't know. This might just be us ending up alone. I don't know what it wants from me, though. Like, there's not much opportunity with Danny before. I'm trying to think, there was the whole thing with the, when he was playing soccer. Oh. The day before I was supposed to head back home, there was a knock at my door. Hi. Danny stood in front of me, a hand in his pocket, a blank look on his face.
So you're leaving tomorrow?
I nodded.
I know that we had our falling out. Or at least we had our differences. But I am sad to see you go. I guess this was the point, though. You made your decision, and it is my job to respect it. I don't get to... I have no claim here. I know you're leaving. This isn't me trying to convince you otherwise or trying to make you take me back. I just wanted to make sure you knew where I stood. I couldn't stand the idea that you might have been... unwilling. While you were with me, I mean. I thought you were okay with it, but when you turned me down at that last second, I had doubts. I thought... if you weren't okay with it and I was behaving that way towards you, I would be a monster. I want to be sure that I didn't hurt you. I never wanted to hurt you. I know that my tendencies aren't necessarily normal. Or good. I only wanted to find a relationship where I could be myself.
Aww.
I hope that's not wrong. I guess there's no right answer to this, though.
You didn't force me into anything. I stayed because I wanted to, and as long as I wanted to. Until I didn't want to anymore.
Good. It hurts to hear you say that, but I'm glad. Thank you. Now I can have peace of mind, and you can have a safe trip.
You too, Danny. I watched as he lifted a lazy hand and left the room and shut the door behind him. Well, tomorrow I would be on a plane to New York. That was that. Okay. We might have a different goodbye with Danny this time. I'll forgive her again. I'm in a charitable mood today. Okay. The taxi driver plopped my suitcase into the trunk of the car and I stepped into the back of the taxi. Okay, so Danny wasn't there. I assume this is the... Is there a special someone? Yeah. I don't really want to talk about it. You had a time. And... okay, so was it worth it, maybe? Yeah, was it worth it? And she's like... I think so. I think it was. Alright. So, let's look. Hey, we did it! Pew, 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 pew! Alright, so that was a neutral end. Okay. Well, I figured it out in the end. Just had to make a couple of small changes. Call things off. I'm glad I didn't have to, like, break his heart when he went to the... all the effort of proposing and stuff. I'm at least glad about that, and I got to see a friendship ending with Aussie. So, we'll call it a win-win here, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. But now that we are done... Actually, I'm going to move my mouse off of here. Now that we are done our first route of England exchange, we're going back to Hakuoki. But Edo this time, no longer in Kyoto. And we got a murder puppy story to go and finish. Soji Okita. It has been too long for that boy. I can't wait to see what happens in the second part of his route. He better give me a freaking kiss. I've been waiting so long for that. For all of them, actually, but we'll start with Soji, why don't we? I hope to see you over there, guys. Until next time, I will see you later.